Hello, pre-AP. I know that a lot of you have had questions and you've been wondering about the summer assignment. You've got 3.5 weeks left, so I thought that I would make a quick video just to explain everything step by step. That way you make sure that you have everything that you need on the first day of school. So step one was, of course, the WordPress. Most of you have sent me a link to your WordPress. It's very easy to set up. It's free. I don't have access to your login or your password, so you need to make sure that that is something that you know, that you can keep up with. So the first step, of course, is the blog. That needs to be emailed to me. The second step was to choose a novel, and you got your choice. There were several really, really short options. So I gave you just some options: The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Things They Carried, The Help, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Frankenstein. And then, of course, I gave you a link to hundreds of other books that you could choose. Any of those books that was on that link would work. So you're supposed to read the book. If you have not read the book yet, you still have 3.5 weeks. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. We'll be doing a lot of our work the first couple weeks when you get back with the book that you chose to read. So you'll need to do annotations with that. That is where I think some of you are having a problem and you're getting a little nervous and having some anxiety. The annotations are just for you. Okay, it's just for you to help you. It's what you're responding to in the reading, and it can be literally almost anything. So you would read your book with a set of sticky notes. So like this right here. Get my book right here. And if I found a passage where there was a really nice simile or some hyperbole, some extreme exaggeration, or maybe even a word that I didn't know, I would take a sticky note right here. I would put it on the page, and then I would write down, let's say it's a word that I don't know. I would write down the word, and then I would look up what the word means, and I would have that sticky note right there. So you just go through, and as you read, you respond. Maybe there's a particular part of the book that you thought was really, really awesome. Okay, I would just take a sticky note, and I would say, this passage was amazing. I loved the way the author used the word freeze, just as an example. So the annotations are for you. It's just you using sticky notes to respond to the book. Something you like, something you don't like, a word you don't know. I do have an annotations guide. It says how to annotate a book. That's on the website, mrsendicott.com. Right here is printed out copy of it, but it's going to tell you the same things that I just mentioned. Any questions that you might have, or you could even make emojis. You can draw emojis to certain places in the book and explain why. You can agree with something, disagree. You can write about a short personal experience that you had that you connect with in the book, keywords or phrases in the book. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can annotate the novel. It's not that any one way is right or wrong. It's just you responding to the novel. The next thing is, after you read and after you annotate, there's a very short LRB. Now let's back up just for a second. The annotations, after you make all your annotations, you're going to take your phone and you're going to take pictures of them. And then you're going to upload them to WordPress. So I'll be able to see all your annotations in the same spot. So now that we have annotations out of the way, once you've read, once you've annotated, you've posted that, you then go to the LRB. That is just short for Literature Response Blog. It says, post on your blog a 300 to 600 word response to the following prompt. Write an analysis of a major character. Flat, round, static, dynamic, internal, external conflicts, dominant traits, significant actions, personal relationships. So 300, 600 words is not a lot. It's probably like 2 to 3 paragraphs. You choose one character from your novel that you read, and you talk about that character in detail. Okay? You talk about the relationships that they had with other people. Did they have meaningful relationships with other people? Were they very negative and cynical? Did they sabotage all their relationships? Were they vindictive and mean? Were they very sweet? Were they naive? How were they in the relationships? What were their relationships that were important? How did it change them as a character? What were their dominant traits? What would you say is dominant traits as far as who they are? Were they very passive? Were they aggressive? Were they assertive? What were the dominant traits that they had? Flat round. A flat character is someone that has multiple layers to their character. Or a round character, I mean. A round character is someone with multiple layers. There's multiple things that's going on. You know a whole lot about them. Flat character, very one-dimensional. Very little information that you have about that character. Chances are, if you're writing an analysis of a major character, they're not flat. They're going to be round. Static or dynamic. Static characters stay the same. They don't change. If they're evil in the beginning, they're evil at the end. If they're the good guy in the beginning and the hero, they're the good guy and they're the hero at the end. Dynamic characters do change. There is a significant change in who they are as a person from the beginning to the end. Internal and external conflicts. You should know that. Internal, what's happening in here, in the heart and in the mind. Are they wrestling with something? Is there some conflict on the inside of them? Is there conflict with other people externally? So those are some of the things that you could talk about in your blog. Okay? Next thing is a character poster. On the character poster, I gave you these handouts. These handouts were supposed to be your guide to do the poster. Everything that you did on these handouts, you should be putting on the poster. I told you if you did not want to do a poster, you could do a PowerPoint slide, and you could do a collage. You could just add all of this stuff in. But qualities of a character. You'd go through, what are the qualities? The character that you chose from your novel, what are their mental qualities? Highlight them. And then on your poster, either write the word out or print the word out. Put it in pretty font. Put that word there so we know that that word applies. Your character has that kind of mental quality. What kind of moral qualities does your character have? What kind of physical qualities? What kind of social qualities? Then understanding character. You were to answer these right here. So for example, in a contest sponsored by a commercial company, the character you chose, has $100,000. Describe what the character will do with the money. So one of the novels that I just read recently, Purple Hibiscus, Camille is a character. So if I was answering that question, if she won $100,000, I believe that she would use that money and provide for charity. I believe that she would be very passionate about schooling. She was someone who was very driven in school, and she was always top of her class, and she's very, very wealthy anyway. So, and her father has really instilled in her this concept of giving. They give so much money to the poor. So I believe that if she had $100,000, I think that she would really sow all of that and make sure that education, she talks about how education is different for her where she's rich as opposed to some of the poor kids. I think that she would make sure that there was more equality with that. So there's an example. So on the poster board, I might just print out a picture of a charity and put that picture on the poster board. And that would be like a trigger for me so I could be able to explain, because you're going to be talking about this. You're going to be explaining why you chose what you did. So this goes on the poster board. And then these are easy. Is character more like? Is your character more like New York, San Fran, Salt Lake City, or New Orleans? Well, again, you would print a picture or you draw a picture on your poster board. Which one? New York, San Fran, Salt Lake City, or New Orleans? And you're going to be able to need to explain and justify why you chose what you chose. But all of this will, again, go on the poster board. Some kind of visual representation for these questions. Last thing is the novel sheet. I gave you a copy of that. If you don't have one, it's on mrsendicott.com. I told you if you worked in groups, you could answer that together. but everyone would need their own copy, okay? Now, here's the deal. With the poster and with the novel sheet, I will be here at the school August 9th at 11 a.m. Some of my seniors are coming up to work. If you feel like you need help or you want to work in groups and you need some feedback, you need some extra help, come up here August 9th and I will be more than happy to help you and let you work in groups on some of those things. So I hope this cleared some of the confusion up. If you have any more questions, because I certainly don't want you to be confused or to be overwhelmed, just email me and we will make sure that we take care of it. Everything's on the website. I hope you've had a really, really, really good summer, and I'm super pumped for this year. I know some of you probably aren't because of the summer assignment, but trust me, it's going to be awesome, and if I can help you with this in any way, just let me know. I'll see you all later. Bye.